Hey, what's up guys? Jamie G back here again. Thanks very much for joining me in today's video. Going to go through something just to follow on from yesterday's video, which is LinkedIn and how to generate leads from LinkedIn. I'm going to take it one step further and show you how you can use their paid advertising platform to further generate leads. And I'm going to share some of my opinions about the platform. Not all of them are good. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, my name's Jamie G. I want to welcome you very warmly. And if you're interested in making money online and how to get started in affiliate marketing and digital marketing, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay up to date with everything I'm going to be putting out. But for now, I'll see you guys on the inside. Bye-bye. Welcome back, guys. Thanks very much for joining me. So just a quick recap, what we're going to go through today is how to set up an ad via LinkedIn. So they do have their own advertising platform. Now, yesterday we went through how to use LinkedIn, how to frame your profile to make sure that you're in the best position to basically get inbound inquiries and position yourself as an industry expert. So just taking that one step further, now this is going to be on the assumption that you do have a budget to work with. You can start really small, which is one of the great things about, I guess, any form of online advertising these days. Having said that, what you'll find is if you do a quick Google search, in fact, even if you start playing around with this stuff, you'll find that you'll start seeing ads from LinkedIn itself, usually offering $50 ad credits, things like that. So, yeah, probably have a Google for it and see what you come up with. In fact, I might even be able to find one for you. I'm not too sure, but I haven't even looked into it, to be honest. But I know when I started looking into LinkedIn many, many moons ago, they started basically showing ads to me offering $50 ad credits. So there you go. Anyway, you'll be able to find that yourself, I'm sure. Right, so you're in your LinkedIn profile, or sorry, LinkedIn feed. You've gone and done your profile, made it all look schmick. And all we need to do is just come over here, click on advertise. And it's going to take you to this page over here. Hopefully this pops up for me. Yep, nice one. Okay, so I guess for you guys, really simple. You can either just go to create an ad there and you actually have to go through the process of filling in the ad form and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, the application form, whatnot. Again, I'm not going to take you through that. It's not overly complicated. Hopefully you know how to fill out a form by now. If you're watching this video, you should know how to do such things. Anyway, don't believe the hype here. All this stuff that they say, it's actually incredibly hard to use. I do not love this platform at all, I'll be honest. So even signing in is a bit of a nightmare. So once you've actually gone through and created your account, you just need to come up to advertising. It'll pop up that or pop down that drop down menu. You just need to come over here to where it says click and sign into campaign manager. Now I apologize, my big buff head is in the way, but you know where I'm pointing, yeah, down here. And once we do that, hopefully I'm not showing anything for my clients. I might have to blank out a few things here, I think. Let's see it. So I'm just going to pause this for a sec while this loads because it doesn't like me when I'm recording the screen. Alrighty, so this page is loaded. So hopefully you may or may not see accounts in here. If not, don't stress whatsoever. Basically, all we need to do is just go over here to create an account. And obviously creating an ad account. So for me, Jamie Gardner's ad account, I'm based in Australia, although I'm not an Aussie, okay? I'm actually a Kiwi. Don't hold that against me. But I'm based in Australia, so obviously I want Aussie dollars, whatever your local currency is, they should have it there. It's pretty comprehensive. Yeah, quite comprehensive. So obviously doesn't cover every denomination, as you can imagine, but does cover quite a few. So I can either basically set up my own URL. You will need to have a company page as well. That was the only other thing I forgot to mention as well. But if you don't have one, no stress at all. You can actually just create one using that there. And with a company page, you could have it whatever your business name is or is going to be. So, for example, if you're looking at, I don't know, becoming an affiliate, then perhaps you want to consider, I guess, what you can actually put together in terms of what your branding would be. So even if it's your own name, for example, but as a company, if that makes sense, then you just need to go through that process there, fill out those details. I personally wouldn't stress too much about how the company looks at this stage. It's really just a matter of getting something out there so you can go back to the advertising side of things. So I'm just going to close that off. And I'm not sure actually with my screen recording if you actually picked up any of that on that next screen. I do apologize. All my recording stuff is down here, but it didn't actually go into the other tab. So I'm not going to know if you guys would have seen that or not. It's tricky. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All you need to do, click on that, create a company name. Like I say, even if it's just yourself, it's really just about having that presence there as well. Okay, so click on save. So for me, I might go. Actually, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna pause and find my company page, and I'll come back. Give me a sec. Alrighty. So this is my company page. This is for Lead Co Solutions, which is my agency. It's obviously just a small company, and I set this up just to basically have a presence. Really, like I say, it was more for the advertising purposes. So all you need to do once you've actually gone through that process, if you're unable to follow it via the other screen, or you do already have an existing company page that you're wanting to advertise via, all you need to do is just go up here to me. There'll be a section there that allows you to go to the actual company page itself. Then all you need to do is just take this number here right back through to LinkedIn up the top there, and obviously don't worry about those other ones. Control C if you're on a PC, Command C I think if you're on a Mac to copy, and then if you recall where that URL was just there, said enter existing name. So I could either go lead coup. It just doesn't. The reason why I did it with the URL doesn't always come up. I've noticed it's been a bit funny before. Um, there you go. The lead code legal counsel. Maybe I need that. Lead code lighting. That's not me. So that's why I mean you can't. It doesn't always find the specific company, which is why I just chuck the URL in there. Bang, and I'm going to go lead co secondary count. Okay. So something for you to recognize, basically. Okay, secondary count. Cool. So now you've created an account. We're just going to go over to the campaign section. Billing details. Yeah. Okay. Nah. No, I'm not going to do that. I just need to update my card on file because I've already got an account there running. Alrighty, so as you can see, it'll actually already automatically come up with a default campaign group. So campaign group, you can actually group them into things like, say, lead generation or branding or videos, for example, and then we can move forward from there. So I'm not going to bother with this at all, although if you do want to change that, just highlight that, and should be an option there to change. Maybe it can't. Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah, because I need to update my details. It probably won't let me do much, to be honest. But I don't intend on running ads via LinkedIn for some time if I can avoid it. So, but that's just my experience. Don't. I'm not trying to be negative. It's just I found it very clunky compared to having used Facebook for a number of years. I've found it a little bit tricky to find my way around. Okay, so we've got no campaigns in here. And just to go back one step, all I did is under campaign groups, I just clicked on the default. And now it's not loading. Yeah, there we go. Campaign obviously not running. I mean running. Active, I should say. Time for another coffee, I think. Okay, so nice and easy. First off, we just need to click on create campaign up here. Or over there as well, of course. Okay, so as you can see there's actually a number of different things you can do to promote. So you can basically say if you have a post, you can just promote that post. You can have dynamic ads, which pretty much just, I guess they can be anything from a video through to just a normal sort of ad that you might see in any other newsfeed for that matter. And then just a text ad, which you might have seen on the right-hand side. It pretty much just says, this is an ad, click here to do whatever. And then sponsored mail. So sponsored in mail, which is it's quite a unique feature actually. I haven't really seen this on the other platforms, and it is probably quite effective. It's not something I've played around with. I've only done the traditional sort of dynamic ads showing up on the news feed, and sponsored content, the two types that I've worked with. But basically, sponsored in mail, just to give you a bit of an idea, what it does is actually message people for you. So it'll find your demographic, it'll send them a message, and obviously the good part about it is that the engagement rate is really high. Cost-wise, it's probably higher as well. Having said that, you need a really strong message. It can't just be some sort of random, "Hi, my name is Jamie, and I think you should buy my stuff." It's about, and I'm going to hammer this home with a lot of the videos I put out. It's about building trust, engagement, and connecting with your audience and seeing if you can actually help them out with whatever it is you're trying to promote. So that's that. And again, because I'm not overly experienced in that specific part, I'm not going to go into it because, yeah, like I say, it's not something I've used before. But just for this one, we're just going to go with the normal sponsored content. And of course, if you do want to find out more, you can just click on there and it'll go through that. So it's normal sponsored content, just as per normal, just a normal ad basically. Whereas, as I say, dynamic ads, you can have like page posts and different things like that as well. And once this loads, because like I say, it doesn't like when I'm recording my screen, so it makes everything so slow. So content campaign name. Now, what I've seen a lot of my clients do, and it's a bit of a funny one because my company is Leco Solutions, so they will create a campaign or create their ad account and call it Leco Solutions marketing or something like that, which is an absolute nightmare because when I'm looking through, tens of different accounts, like 30 odd accounts or whatever that I manage, um, and I just see Leco um, ads or Leco marketing, I'm like, well, what? That doesn't connect it to anything. So if you're ever employing a marketing person, then little tip for you: just make it so that it's representative of your brand, not of their brand. Okay, so you can call anyway. I'm digressing. Campaign name, you can call whatever you like essentially. So for this one, let's just say that I'm after going to do some lead generation stuff. So, or I just want to sponsor a post, pretty much. Get whatever article or whatever it is recognized, or a video for that matter. Then I'm just going to go post. Actually, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go post engagement. And copy one. Actually, I won't bother back because I'm at the campaign level. Post engagement. It doesn't matter. Like I say, you can really call it whatever you like. And again, campaign group. So if you recall back at the start, you had the campaign group, default group, which is normally how everything's going to pop up. But you can have ones for video. You can have a separate one for, I guess, different things that you're trying to promote. It might even be campaign group for, say, the month of October, for argument's sake, November, December, et cetera, et cetera. That allows you to segregate that data and kind of measure those results and see, I guess, if there's any statistical trend or seasonal trend, I should say, across any of them. So, and if you wanted to create a new group, click on that. Yep. Target audience language. Now, again, you've got a whole bunch of them up there, which I think is pretty incredible. I'm just going to go with English because most of the clients that I deal with are going to be English speaking and from English speaking countries for that matter as well. Nice and easy, just click on next there. And then it's going to ask, what do you want to do with the campaign? What do you want to accomplish? So, and here's your options. You want to either send them to a website or your content. You want to collect leads. You want to get video views. That's basically three things you can do in this particular thing. For me, I'm just going to go and get basically, increase followers to my company page, add a follow button, and that's pretty much it. Like I mean, historically, what I've done is actually gone through the whole process of using a lead form. Like I say, because of the way LinkedIn is structured as a platform, there's two things to bear in mind. One is you're going to get highly, highly, highly targeted people because you can target specific industries, and obviously there's going to be a certain demographic. But the flip side is the targeting is on point. But because not as many people use LinkedIn and not as many people use LinkedIn on a regular basis, you'll find that the cost per engagement, the cost per click is just that much higher. In fact, one of the campaigns I was running on behalf of a client a little while ago, they actually had clicks of as high as $9 each, which, believe it or not, it's not even the most expensive. You can get clicks for a hell of a lot more than that. That's just one example. So look, I guess just to show you guys what's up here, I think we probably could go send people to your business or content. I think that's probably, I'll probably do that one. I think I'm not going to get into lead forms right now because I hate them. Yeah, it's don't get me started. For LinkedIn as well, I might add, and obviously video views. But yeah, just going to go with the normal one up here. All right. So here we go. And your ad format, you can either have a carousel. So you might have seen a carousel ad via Facebook before where it pops up on your smartphone or whatever, and you just had to kind of scroll through different images, and each one has a little bit of a write up. The same thing applies with LinkedIn as well. Normally speaking, it's funny. I've actually had more success with static image ads than I have with carousel ads. Although the likes of Facebook and a lot of the other platforms will actually recommend that you do have a carousel just because they say that it increases engagement and whatnot. And then also you can just have straight up video. So if you've got some video content, yeah, you can use that. But I think for this one, I'm just going to go with a page or an article image link. And you can obviously save that as a draft. I don't think am I able to move my little head out of the way. Whoa, 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 crazy, whoa, whoa. And that makes me big. Hey, what's up? Sorry, I'm still getting used to this whole thing. All right, maybe I'll just kill that away for a moment. All right, so here you can see, I don't know if you can still see my face or not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Over here, you can either save it as a draft and come back to it later, or alternatively, just click on next up here. And I don't know why that's gone blue. It's probably me. What have I done? Why are you doing this? Yeah, so I don't quite know why that's everything seems to have gone blue there. That's kind of weird. It's like it's selected everything. Control all. I haven't. Yeah, weird. Anyway, you get the point, right? So, okay. Now, I've actually put up a few things myself previously. I don't do that much with LinkedIn at all anymore because I kind of hate it. No, I don't hate it. That's a lie. I'm not a fan of this entire platform. Wow, that blue is just so annoying. All right, I'm going to pause and refresh, see what happens. All right, I'm back and better than ever. And I'm hoping I'll go through the draft of this video just to see, but I'm hoping that you guys were actually able to see that. Otherwise, I'll just feel like an idiot. Um, Alrighty. So, look, what I can do, I mean, to give you an idea, I wrote an article for a blog called AdLeaks. If you're unfamiliar with it, it is based on Facebook advertising. And what's this? Sorry, guys, getting used to all my new toys. Right, I'm back. That's me in the corner. I don't know why I'm pointing because that's anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, I wrote this article, or actually wrote a series of articles for a blog called adleaks.com. And basically, AdLeaks is like the just premier place to find information on Facebook advertising and things like marketing and stuff. It's really super cool. They've got like a membership portal as well. Probably don't need that just purely because the blog itself is just unbelievable with information and stuff like that. So, do highly recommend you check that out. But like I say, one of the things I put up was some targeting hacks for Facebook advertisers, and that was my one of my blogs there. So all the items that you've already posted on your page should appear here. And of course, if they don't, then that's absolutely fine. You can actually just go up the top there and click on create sponsored content. I personally am not going to bother with that. I'm just going to go bang right here and then just promote this one here. So we can have a look at that, see what it looks like. And hopefully that'll give a bit of a preview once it loads. There we go. Yeah, so that was one of the things I put up as part of the company page, sorry. So I should probably like that as well. No, I can't. Only one like. Terrible. Everyone should like it. It's a great article. It took me ages to write it. Anyway, I might actually update that in my Facebook group at some stage as well if you guys are interested. So I'll leave a link below if you haven't already joined my Facebook group. You're welcome to find me in there. But you can also edit it, of course. Okay, well, sorry. Okay, yeah, yeah, talking like I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically, if you're looking at if you've created your own sponsored content here, and it shows up here, then you can edit it. But if you've already gone and created something via your company page, you won't be able to come in and edit it here. You have to go to the company page to edit that. Hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you guys on the assumption that we've gone through, created your nice profile, you've just set up a company account, you haven't got any content on that company account, a company page at this stage. So all you need to do is just click on create sponsored content, name the sponsored content, and what are we going to call that? I'm going to say image. Add one post engagement. This gives me an idea. Like you can. Oops, that's not how you spell it, is it? Gives you a bit of an idea as to engage, something like that. Blah blah blah. Enter the URL landing page and introductory text. So it's up to you what you put in here. I mean, it can be realistically, it can be absolutely anything. What are we going to put? I'll just use my business page just to give you an idea. Okay. Solutions. Actually, I always have this doctrine that I use when I'm setting up my ads. You try and ask a question, which ideally it's one of the things they refer to is called can't think of the name of it. It's called like disruptive marketing or something like that. And it's basically, you can imagine people are scrolling through LinkedIn and they're looking at different connections that they have and different things and articles and whatnot. And then the ad has to be something that sticks out to them. So it has to be enough that it is punchy enough to kind of stick out and to engage them straight away. So it disrupts their flow. That's what it's called, disruptive marketing. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a question and then I'm going to answer it and basically have a call to action there as well. Yeah. So, classic. Don't know if you guys can see that pop up there. Could you? I'm not going to send this live business. You can also make things controversial here as well. It really depends on what type of business you're looking to advertise. And if it's just for yourself, then you probably would need to have a landing page that it goes to. So I'm just going to pause this while I think. My brain is just absolutely off at the moment. I've been writing ads all morning, so kind of lacking a bit of creativity. So I'm just going to pause this. I'll come back in a second once I've sort of thought of something that is worthwhile. Give me a sec. Alrighty, thanks very much for joining me back here. So I do apologize. Like I say, I've been writing ads all morning, so my sometimes my creativity just kind of goes out the window. And unfortunately, in this occasion, it happened about 2/3 of the way through doing a video. So anyway, right, okay. So the lead-in, you've only got 150 characters here to basically put out, I guess, a lead-in to your ad. So that's obviously what that is, and then that's my for my agency there. Ad headline. Again, I like to ask a question because it need leads. I mean, it's something that's kind of short and punchy. I probably could have made that a little bit longer, to be honest, but it basically asks the question and answers it at the same time. Need leads? Oh yeah, I suppose I do need to grow my business. Great, well, we can help. And then again, I repeat that same format. Need more customers for your business, because obviously I'm in lead generation. Let our team of experts help. Okay, cool. Click to see how we can help. And I always put a call to action. Doesn't matter how short the actual ad is itself. Always have some sort of call to action, like click here, find out more, click to get started, see how we can help. Anything like that, right? So that's what I always put. Now, the other thing I have left out is an image, and I'm not going to put an image because well, you guys know how to add an image in, basically, and there's the specs for it as well, by the way. 1200 by 627, which is very similar to Facebook. I think Facebook's 1200 by 628, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. Right, so now I'm going to save that. Hopefully it'll let me save without the image. And it does, which is brilliant. And what I'm going to do is click on that to highlight it. Like I say, just going back to my comment earlier, these ones I can't edit here because they're actually, I did them on my company page. This one I can edit. Now, really funny feature, or important feature I should say, is that you can also duplicate. Now, why would you want to duplicate the ad? Well, if you already know that you've written some really great copy, you might want to just leave the copy and just change the image, or leave the image, change the copy, right? So the whole idea being is that you shouldn't just launch one ad at a time. It's always best to test different types, see which ones get the better engagement. Yeah, so always do that. Right, last step. Click on sponsor selected content. Okay, and this is where we get into the fun stuff, which is the targeting. So you can either go click up here to start with. You can either basically, if you've already gone through this process before, you can actually save something as a template in terms of your targeting. I personally don't bother because, like I say, I kind of hate. No, I'm kidding. I don't hate it. Now, the other thing is as well is there is something called a matched audience, as you can see here, and I've sort of gone basically just purely setting up the actual ad itself. But what I haven't covered and what I'm not going to get time to cover is updating the pixel into your website. So you can actually get a pixel, upload that to the header tag between the head tags of your website, and that'll basically just keep an eye on the different types of demographics that are coming to your website, so that way you can actually just match roughly what those people look like. So there's not a bad feature there. There are some limitations. I don't know if they've updated this, but you can't do things like retargeting. So if you're unfamiliar with retargeting or remarketing, depending on how you want to call it, it's basically showing another ad to people that have taken a certain action. So on Facebook, for example, you can retarget people that have liked your page. You can retarget or remarket to people that have watched a certain percentage of a video, have visited a site, but not just your website, actual specific pages of a website as well, which is amazing. So for example, if someone's gone all the way to the view cart, if you're on an e-commerce site, you can then retarget those people and show them one ad, and then show people that have only just viewed your content a different ad. It's pretty cool, but it does have its limitations on LinkedIn, unfortunately. So, rightio, targeting audience below. So you can either just go here and you can start typing a country. So I'm in Australia. I'm just going to type that. You might want to target whatever country. And you can also go so far as targeting like a township as well. So I'm based in Melbourne, Australia, so I could target that if I choose to. And like I say, it doesn't like when I'm doesn't like when I'm recording the screen. There we go. There we go. All right. So as you can see, yeah, you can have all these different places there. These little cities and townships, and obviously provinces and states and whatnot. So it's going to go Australia, and I might want to chuck in New Zealand because that's where I'm from. Finland, and what else? Let's say, I don't know, Singapore, just for argument's sake. Okay. All right. Yeah, so basically, if you don't tick that, what it's going to do is target people that are traveling through these destinations as well. So you might have someone that checks into their LinkedIn platform or their LinkedIn account while they're visiting Singapore or New Zealand, Australia. Having said that, you might decide that the product or service that you're trying to promote is only applicable to people that actually reside in these countries. So you can just tick on that. So company specific. So if you have a company name, this is where the targeting gets really good. So you might have an idea of the types of companies. So I personally used to work in the financial markets, so I might be looking at targeting, say, Goldman Sachs or one of the big broking houses, for argument's sake. The actual industry as well, company size. You can make sure that you're only targeting companies with over 5,000 employees. There's specific job titles. Like there was a client of mine that I worked with, then they only wanted to go after, I think it was financial controllers and CEOs and basically those high level decision makers. And going back to my earlier comment as well, it means that the audience is really finite, which means that the cost is a lot more, but the quality of your leads is out of sight when they do actually bother to click on your ad. Usually, job function. I mean, all this stuff here. So even gender as well, which is really cool. Age, years of experience, blah 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 blah. Right. So I'm just going to go and go industry. I think is probably the easiest one. And I'm not. I should be a specialist for lead generation, but I kind of set out when I started the business. It's just become a lot more broad than I anticipated. But I do a lot of work with developers, so I'm just going to go developer. Let's go property. They might not have it here. That's the other thing as well. And you might be under different brackets like real estate. There we go. That's the real estate. I'm just going to leave it really broad. Obviously, you want to hone it in as much as you like. A little tip for you as well: the larger the audience, the cheaper engagement that you're going to get. I know that, again, going back to my client, there was one where we were doing something and it was localized as well. It was in one region of Australia, and they were looking at an audience of about 13,000 people, very small. So it meant that their costs were quite substantial as a result. But again, going back to that point, the leads were really good when they did come in, because we were doing lead generation as opposed to this type of ad that I'm doing now. Right. Yep. Okay. I want to leave that ticked. I don't really know what the LinkedIn targeting audience network is, to be honest. I know that with Facebook, it's something that I do untick. I don't want it to be shown on the audience network because you get a lot of like false clicks, just people accidentally tapping on their phone, things like that. And I do actually want to expand the audience, because what that'll do is try and find people that the ad should appeal to based on the algorithm that LinkedIn are using. Okay, so that's it. And I can either save that as a template, or if you've already loaded a template, you can update that as a new one. And I think I might have blocked off the save button. Yep. So click on next. Rightio. And going back to my comment before, that's the actual pixel there. So it does give you the option. This never used to be there as well. So it's a bit of an addition there. What is it? Website visits, but you can also have other things here. So website conversions, visits, whatever you choose there. Website conversions would be, say, for example, a lead. Someone's landed on your page, they sign themselves up for your newsletter. That's a lead, hence a conversion or a sale, for example, as well. And again, I'm not going to go through that. That's quite complex for this particular video, and I've already gone massively over the time I'd hoped. But you do want to install that, and that's how basically LinkedIn are going to be able to show your ads to a higher quality demographic as a result. Now, and that's just another thing to be mindful of. Doesn't matter what you put in there, you're probably going to end up spending more. It's just the way that the algo works, so don't stress too much about that. Now, automatic bid, I mean, that's completely up to you. You might have a designated sort of budget in mind, and as you can see, like I mentioned before, the potential click can be substantially higher than anything else that we've been looking at. So I'm just going to go auto for this one. Campaign start date, I want to schedule a start. So let's say I don't want that to go live until I don't know, like 31st of Halloween for whatever. And you can also have different things here. So you might want it to go just for the full month of November. So we've got basically 1 month, or run indefinitely. Total budget, so you can actually set it. So I'm going to put like $500. Optimize for performance. Yeah, that's always what you want to do. And that basically just on that one as well. If you recall, I mentioned. I'm just going to show my ugly face again. If you recall, I mentioned earlier there was an option to duplicate your ad, and I said you might want to change the image, or you might want to change the ad copy, things like that. That's when the ad rotation comes in. So basically what they do is they would show the ad evenly to similar audience or same audience, and whatever one is outperforming, they're going to basically boost the budget for that and show that more and more and more. The alternative is you can pretty much do that manually yourself, and just, if you click on this button here, allow ads to enter the auction evenly, because like every ad, if you imagine that every advertiser, every ad is competing for that space. So there's a finite number of people out there, and basically they form an audience, and you and all the other advertisers want to show an ad to those people. So therefore, the only way to compete for that is via an auction process, and that's what that means. I personally would always just go for optimize for performance, and like I say, it's going to automatically show the highest performing ad for you anyway, which is really cool. Haven't worked out how to move this little doofree over here, so I'm just going to kill myself off again. Click on next. I apologize for the time, guys. I know this is a lot longer than I anticipated. blah, blah, blah. It's ready to launch, $500 budget, and then obviously your billings details in there. Now, and as I say, that's where I mentioned before, you can get a code. I do suggest you have a quick Google of that. You'll be able to find one. Usually you can get like a $50 voucher just to kickstart things as well. And then obviously the information about billing. So then all you do is click on review order. They will actually go through and manually review your ad, make sure it ticks all their boxes and it's compliant. Just another thing as well, and I hope no one ever does this, but you don't want to make false claims. You don't want to sound spammy. You don't want to have basically images that are completely outlandish, like big dollar signs and random stuff like that. You want to basically, and I probably should have gone through the image part. I do sincerely apologize, but I sort of I knew I was going to run out of time. But with your images as well, try and make them so they, I guess, stand out. So what I use a lot of the time is an image with an orange background, and the reason being is I've been running ads for quite some time on various platforms, and I've found, and I'm not entirely sure why, but the ones that have some form of orange in them just tend to, the click-through rates just seem to go so much better than any other color out there for whatever reason. I guess because it sticks out like dog's balls, as they might say. But anyway, that's what I do recommend. In the worst case scenario, LinkedIn isn't like the other platforms like Facebook. If you do put up an image that they don't like with Facebook, you have the potential of having your account banned. They're really ruthless like that. Whereas LinkedIn, they are a little bit more forgiving. They're likely just to say this is declined or it needs work, come back and fix it up. So you'll know, I think the turnaround time is usually about 24 hours, and that's it. So anyway, that's all I wanted to go through. Hopefully that all makes sense. I do sincerely apologize. I know it's been a lot longer than I anticipated. Thank you very much for those of you that have stuck around to the end. Please feel free to leave a like and a comment or a dislike if you didn't like it, or if there's anything you want me to produce or want to see, let me know. I'm happy to help. Leave a question. I'd love to connect with you all. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Jamie G. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.